Good morning from the same location that I ended the last video. If you haven't checked that out, go and check it out because it's really good. We're in the Annapurna circuit of Nepal, and today we've got a really nice sunrise happening over those mountain peaks behind me. Already got a couple good images which I'm happy with, hopefully a time lapse. And today we continue our trek. It's day number 3 of full day trekking, and we've got about 15 kilometers to do with a good vertical gain, maybe 700 meters. It should take about 6 hours. And in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between A-roll and B-roll. It's going to be a good one, but I'm not going to say it. But let's go.
Thinking how I'd ever live without you by my side. And I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong.
So we're beginning our vlog nice and early this morning. It's just after 7:30 and we're hitting the trail. And this video is all about sort of primary footage versus secondary footage. And a good example is this man's vlogs. So we're gonna talk about how I differentiate what is primary to the story and what is secondary or B-roll.
A good example is what we're doing right now. Primary footage. The footage you're gonna get of this cow right now.
Secondary.
Secondary footage.
On a slightly more serious note, the differentiator between sort of primary footage or A-roll and secondary or B-roll for me in a vlog context is all about the talking point or your sort of piece to camera. Because if you get the opportunity to explain what the main portion of the story is, that's your chance to get across that primary footage that helps sort of set the stage or determine, what it is that the viewer can expect. And your whole story is essentially like a sequence. And if you can tie together the main points of your story with secondary footage, then you've got a really cohesive storyboard. And what we like to do sometimes is even write it out. So it's sort of like, okay, you've got your intro, you've got that building momentum, you've got a climax, and then you've got a nice sort of, downslope into a conclusion, if that makes sense. So yes, primary footage is about getting your point across with a talking point or a piece to camera. Filming the majority of my video here this morning, which is nice because the mind is rolling. I've got some really good ideas to share with you about primary footage versus secondary. And a really good example is when I'm working on assignment with BBS here or with Thomas Heaton in Patagonia or in Iceland. It's my responsibility to try and get primary footage of those guys operating their camera, taking pictures, changing lenses, anything that shows what it is that they do in the field while they're working. So the whole idea of sort of covering these workshops and being on assignment, documenting the experience, is to help get that primary footage to show their audience what it is that they do when they're working. So that is considered primary footage. Then whatever else I get of the landscape or of the surroundings or of the group, the participants, people who are with us, that's all sort of secondary footage to help tie together that primary stuff. So that's a good example of primary versus secondary in sort of a vlog assignment context, but it really depends on your subject. It depends on your assignment, on your client, what it is you're doing, the videos that you're making at home. You have to try and differentiate between the most important footage and then everything else.
Push all the buttons.
Bye. Just another normal bridge, Nepal. Amazing. Everywhere there's incredible footage to be captured. Another great tip for the difference between A-roll and B-roll is that the majority of my A-roll or primary footage is shot in 30 frames per second, which is what I'm shooting in right now. And then probably like 75% of the B-roll that I shoot is with a higher frame rate. Now, with the GH5, I can shoot in variable frame rates, which is like a digitized version of an actual frame rate. And it plays back in slow motion, which is really cool because it allows me to get an idea of the shot in camera, and then I don't have to modify the footage in post. So I really like that, and I use it in a lot of my videos. So being able to change your frame rate or having a camera that goes up to 60 FPS or 90 or 120 is really, really useful when shooting good B-roll. Oh, and I'm sorry, we're going uphill. Yeah! We made it to our accommodation here in Chikut Pokuri, which is a small village on the Annapurna circuit, and this is the accommodation. Give you guys a little cribs room tour. That's it. Tour over.
There's like 3,060 meters. Pooped in the forest twice. But we made it. If you don't poop in the forest, it's like you're not even trying. How many times did you poop in the forest today?
0. Good job, we made it! Woohoo! You ready for the room tour?
Yeah, show me.
This is Annapurna Cribs, baby. Season 1.
Before my phone dies, my camera battery dies. Whoa! So show me all around.
Really? The light is fading here on our third full day of the Annapurna circuit in Nepal. So I want to sign off the vlog, but I hope that you have gained some insights into the differences, how I see them, between primary footage and secondary footage, and or A-roll and B-roll, however you want to call it, in your own videos. And I also want to know what you think about how you shoot your videos and how you determine the difference between your primary footage and your secondary footage. So throw that down in the comments, because it is always very interesting to learn how other people shoot and your style behind your videography. So yeah, let's start the conversation down there. Let me know what you think. And if you've enjoyed this video in Nepal, stay tuned, because we got a ton of really, really cool footage to come, especially high altitude stuff, which is going to be a challenge for me, considering I'm carrying a gimbal, camera, microphone, 5 lenses, a secondary body, the EOS R. But many of you already know that, but it's going to be quite the adventure, so stay tuned for that. We are going up to about 5,400 meters, excuse me, 5,400 meters. So it's going to be an adventure, and it's super fun here in Nepal. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.